All right, guys, so this is a updated Endbell tweaker video, so using the JP tool. So there was a minor, I guess you could call it an issue that we had with the first round of these, and what we ended up having to do was we made this thing to where it will only do one brush at a time, which requires you to flip the Endbell, and it also only goes to maximum. Okay, so the moderate side is still there, but it doesn't necessarily function, it doesn't really do anything there, and that's because we had to remove a pin from each side. So if you have one of the older versions of these, or what maybe we call it the standard version, this is a tool. We don't make this tool, so we just had to modify these ones in order to get them to work the way that we want them to work without it causing damage to the Endbell. Because what I don't want is I don't want you taking a $10 Endbell, damaging it, and then reaching back out to Viper and saying, hey, we bought that tool, it ruined my Endbell, I need a new Endbell. So this setup here will work. It'll give you repeatable results. Something I would recommend doing is, you can make a mark, or, you just see that this side has the pin. For this particular one, we are going to make a mark. And I am going to install the Endbell in there with the logo up, and we're going to start at that point. So now it's loaded, and we're just going to go to maximum. Okay, we're going to pull it out, and the reason I mark this, and what's nice is the logo is only on one side, is if you forget what side you did, you always know that if you start with the logo up top, then that's all that matters. But for this particular one, we just flipped it over and we have it set back down in there. Go to our maximum, and now if you look at what we have a nice, very evenly, properly tweaked and tensioned Endbell compared to a standard one here. So you can see that there's a little bit of what we call brush overlap. So it's about 50% of the brush has overlapped, whereas this one, there is zero brush overlap. So that is full tweaked. That's a really, really good spot. That's not over tweaked, not under tweaked. I definitely would recommend starting there. You don't have to go quite as far if you don't want to. Or if you really want to play with this, you can actually notch this thing and get more out of it. So that's kind of an updated video. It does one side at a time. That prevents the brushes from breaking, which that's ultimately what was happening is both brushes were forced into each other so hard as it was getting twisted that one of the brushes could fail. Keep in mind the brushes are made just like a pill. They're compressed carbon dust with copper mixed into them, and it can crumble. I mean, if you have a bad one and you grab it with pliers, it'll just turn into dust. And so we don't want anybody's Endbell doing that when they use the tweaker. So we went ahead and modified the ones that we're restocking now. So just keep that in mind. It works great like that. I've adapted the ones that we use because we do use this tool for all of the production tweaked stuff, cars, Endbells, that stuff. And I even use it as a starting point for custom builds like these right here. They all started out with that, and then I do a little bit of fine tweaking by hand just because of how much experience I have doing that. But if you have any questions, make sure to throw it in the comments. But we appreciate you guys, and hopefully that all made sense, and hopefully your cars are all going to make a lot more power now with the tweaked Endbell. We'll see you on the next one.